The ocean has a rhythm, a heartbeat that has pulsed for billions of years. It's a hypnotic, soothing sound that draws us to its edges. We see the turquoise water and the white sand, and we feel a sense of profound peace. But that rhythm is also a clock that never stops, never slows down, and never shows mercy to those who forget its ticking. Imagine a hidden cove on the rugged coast of the Pacific Northwest, or perhaps the jagged edges of Cornwall. To reach it, you have to wait for the low tide, scrambling over a series of slippery, barnacle-encrusted rocks that are usually hidden beneath 6 feet of salt water.
Our protagonist is a man named Elias. He's an artist, someone who seeks solitude to find inspiration. He discovers this cove at 10 a.m. The tide is at its lowest point. The beach is a pristine crescent of sand, protected by towering 50-foot basalt cliffs that rise straight up like the walls of a fortress. At the far end of the beach, Elias finds a sea cave, a cool, dark cathedral carved out by centuries of relentless waves. To Elias, this is a sanctuary. He sets up his gear, enjoys a small lunch, and eventually, lulled by the cool breeze and the rhythmic hush of the distant surf, he decides to close his eyes for a short nap. This is his first and perhaps fatal mistake. He is operating on tourist time, while the ocean is operating on tidal time.
Elias wakes up not because of a sound, but because of a sensation. It's a sharp, stinging cold against his left hand. He opens his eyes, and for a second he is disoriented. The cave is much darker now. The golden sunlight that had reached deep into the cavern is gone. In its place is a murky, flickering blue light. He looks down. A thin film of seawater is swirling around his ankles, soaking his sketches. Panic doesn't hit him immediately. It starts as a cold prickle at the base of his neck. He stands up and walks toward the mouth of the cave, only to stop dead in his tracks. The beach he walked across 3 hours ago is gone.
The turquoise water has turned into a churning, frothy gray. The path over the rocks is now buried under 4 feet of turbulent ocean. Waves are crashing against the base of the cliffs with a thunderous boom that shakes the very ground beneath his feet. He is trapped. He looks at the cliffs. They are vertical, slick with green algae and sea spray. There are no handholds, no ledges, just ancient, unforgiving stone. Elias realizes with a jolt of pure adrenaline that he isn't just in a cave. He is in a death chamber.
Elias tries to climb. He finds a small crack in the rock and pulls himself up, but the stone is crumbly and wet. He rises 2 feet, then 3, before his foot slips on a patch of seaweed. He falls back into the rising water with a splash. The tide is coming in faster now. This is a phenomenon known as the Rule of Twelfths. In the middle hours of a tide, the 3rd and 4th hours, the water rises much faster than it does at the beginning or the end. Elias is caught in that surge. The water is no longer swirling, it's pushing. He retreated to the very back of the cave, where the floor is highest, but the ceiling here is lower. He is being forced into a smaller and smaller space. Now, we must talk about the biology of the ocean. The water temperature is 12 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, cold shock response is the primary threat. When Elias is submerged to his chest, his breathing becomes erratic. He starts to hyperventilate. His heart is racing at 130 beats per minute, trying to pump warm blood to his extremities. But the ocean is too big. It is a heat sink that will never be filled. As the water reaches Elias's waist, the cave begins to change. The acoustics shift. The roar of the ocean outside is no longer a distant thunder. It becomes a rhythmic, pounding pressure that Elias can feel in his chest. This is the piston effect. As each massive wave hits the entrance of the cave, it compresses the air inside. Elias's ears pop painfully. He is being squeezed by the atmosphere itself. He is now standing on a narrow shelf of rock at the very back of the cavern. It's less than 6 inches wide. He has to press his face against the cold, wet stone just to stay balanced.
Now, let's look at the mammalian dive reflex. As the cold water reaches his chest, Elias's heart rate actually begins to slow down, a desperate attempt by his body to preserve oxygen for his brain and heart. But his muscles are failing. His fingers are so numb they feel like thick, useless wooden blocks. He can no longer feel the rock he is clinging to. He is staying upright by sheer force of will. The most terrifying part isn't the water itself, it's the darkness. The sun has moved behind the cliffs, and the interior of the cave is swallowed by a murky, greenish gloom. Every time a wave surges in, the water level jumps by 4 inches, then recedes by 2. It's a slow, agonizing 2 steps forward, 1 step back towards his chin.
This is the moment of peak terror. The water is now at Elias's jawline. He has to tilt his head back, his nose touching the slimy ceiling of the cave. He can feel the barnacles on the rock scraping against his skin. He is breathing the last pocket of air trapped against the ceiling. It's thick, salty, and humid. He realizes that if the tide rises just 3 inches more, there will be no air left. This is where many victims lose their minds. The primitive part of the brain, the brainstem, screams for him to swim, to move, to fight. But if he lets go of the wall now, he will drown in the dark.
He closes his eyes. He begins to time his breaths with the swells. Inhale as the wave recedes. Hold as the surge pushes the water up to his nostrils. It is a rhythmic dance with death. In this moment, Elias experiences the survival transcendence. The fear vanishes, replaced by a cold, sharp clarity. He stops thinking about his sketches, his house, or his life. His entire universe has shrunk to a single 2-inch pocket of air, and the strength in his numbing calves. 10 minutes pass. To Elias, they feel like 10 hours. Then, something happens. He waits for the next surge to cover his nose, but it doesn't come. The water touches his chin, and then it stops. The high, slack water has been reached. For about 15 minutes, the ocean pauses. It's the transition point between the flood tide and the ebb tide. The silence inside the cave is deafening. The violent pounding has turned into a gentle sloshing. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the water begins to retreat. First, his chin is clear, then his neck, then his chest.
Elias doesn't move for a long time. He remains pressed against the rock, shivering violently. Stage 2 hypothermia has taken hold. His body is shaken so hard that he nearly falls off his ledge, but he is alive. When he finally stumbles out of the cave 2 hours later, the beach is beginning to reappear. The moon is rising over the cliffs, casting a silver, ghostly light over the wet sand. He looks back at the cave, the sanctuary that nearly became his tomb. The ocean is once again beautiful, calm, and rhythmic. But Elias knows the truth now. The ocean isn't a friend. It's a machine, and he just barely escaped its gears.